je le dis souvent, mais ça date de 20-25 ans, mais il était encore en soutane blanche. Il veut prendre le train pour aller à Bombay. Il va arriver en soutane blanche dans la gare de Bombay. Et au fond de la place, il y a les comment dit-on, les taxis. Alors, je marche, je traverse plus la place, je vais vers un taxi, et je lui dis 3 mots en anglais, parce qu'à Bombay, vous ne connaissez pas le marathi, et deuxièmement, ils connaissent l'anglais et les taxis. Et je lui dis, please, s'il vous plaît, sir, monsieur, êtes-vous libre? Are you free? 3 mots les plus ordinaires du monde. S'il vous plaît, monsieur, êtes-vous libre? Alors il m'a regardé avec des yeux étonnés. Il m'a dit, Père, mais quand tu sens blanche. Il m'a dit, Father, vous êtes le premier à me dire ces 3 mots. Personne me dit please, personne m'appelle monsieur, sir, et personne me demande si je suis libre. On fait un geste comme ça. Et bien ça, c'est le respect. Le respect du pauvre, qu'il soit chauffeur de taxi ou qu'il soit un pauvre dans les bidonvilles. Il faut toujours un immense respect.
So since I was very young, probably as a teenager, this was in the 60s, I was very much aware that the world, the environment, and the way that people were treating each other wasn't sustainable. And this was before it really became an issue. And I found it very painful to watch how people were treating each other and how the environment was being degraded. And I think I had a sort of existential crisis at that time. But I decided to study science and became an environmental scientist. And the existential crisis deepened because I felt, even though science was doing a very, very good job on the symptoms of how to treat environmental issues, that in fact there was a deeper issue, and that was people's attitudes, people's consciousness towards life, towards each other, towards nature, that science was always one step behind. People were doing what they wanted to do, and then science was coming in to fix it. And so I felt that my own answers to the question of why are human beings behaving the way that they're behaving wasn't being answered through my profession. And that caused me an enormous amount of anxiety and I would say deep questioning. And in order to alleviate the anxiety, I started to meditate.
Father has that simplicity in him. He's so simple, and he was gifted so many things. He was gifted so many very costly cars and all that. And you would find, okay, one day you hear that he was gifted with a very costly car from France or America, and the next day you find that he has given it to somebody else. He doesn't feel comfortable with rich things. He feels comfortable with simple things and with poor people.
The Brahma Kumaris started in 1936 when the founder Brahma Baba had a vision of a better world, a world where there was truth and love and purity and justice. And as he shared these ideas, a small group of people came around him to hear and study these ideas. And then this led to the starting of the Brahma Kumaris World Spiritual University in 1937. For 14 years, a group of 300 people stayed together as an enclosed community, meditating, practicing ideas of spirituality, absorbing those ideas into their lives. And this was through the period when the World War was going on outside, but also in India, in the subcontinent. They were in that place which is today in Pakistan, in Karachi. And there it was the Indian War of Independence that was going on, and then the split of India and Pakistan. And through that whole period, no harm came to a single member, even though there were houses where, for example, 60 members, women, young women, lived together in one house, and Brahma Baba just simply told them, when there is love for God and the power of truth, nothing can harm you. And so they practiced meditation, did their work in silence, but the people in Karachi saw them as being the children of God, and so they were totally protected. In 1950, they moved to Mount Abu, and the community then started to share these ideas, going out to the places in India where they were being invited. By the time the founder, Brahma Baba, left his physical form when he died in 1969, by then centers had been established in many of the major cities of India. But so far the work was only in India. And then in 1971, we started the first center outside of India, when a small group of us came together to meditate and to say that, well, we want to have a place where we can meditate together. And so we started in London, and another center simultaneously started in Hong Kong. And after that, till today, we now have around 8,000 centers in 104 countries, with about 800,000 people who follow these ideas of meditation and spiritual teachings continually on a regular basis in their life. The essence of the teachings is that when there's a change of heart and a change of consciousness, then there can be a change in the world, and we can create a better world together. And it was with this awareness of creating peace in the self and peace in the world that we became affiliated to the United Nations in 1980.
Après mon départ de la France, en 1937, j'avais 23 ans, et j'étais parti pour ne jamais revenir. J'ai passé donc près de 60 ou 70 ans en Inde. En gros, ces 70 ans se divisent en 4 ou 5 périodes, en général des périodes de 15 ans, c'est tout simple. Pendant 15 ans, j'ai étudié. Et pour moi, c'est essentiel. Et je crois que c'est la grande grâce que la Compagnie de Jésus, à laquelle j'appartiens, nous donne la possibilité d'étudier longtemps. Et je ne regrette jamais d'avoir passé 15 ans à étudier la théologie, ou bien à étudier le sanskrit, ou bien étudier les Upanishads, ou bien étudier les pensées de Pascal, étudier tout ça. Et je crois qu'on n'étudie jamais assez. Puis alors j'ai été ordonné prêtre, et après ça, 15 ans extraordinaires, aumônier national des étudiants de l'Inde. Des étudiants catholiques, mais ici on ne fait pas beaucoup de distinction. Tout le monde vient à toi. Et donc pendant 15 ans, j'avais 86 universités qu'il fallait que je voie tous les ans. De Bombay à Calcutta, de Delhi jusqu'à Madras, jusque dans le Rajasthan, des endroits incroyables. Ça a été pour moi une chose extraordinaire, ces 15 ans, après 15 ans d'études, d'avoir 15 ans pour découvrir l'Inde à travers mes étudiants, avec eux. Et puis après 15 ans comme ça, j'ai demandé d'être remplacé. Parce que je ne veux pas mettre plus de 15 ans aumônier national ou aumônier étudiant. Pour une raison toute simple. On a chacun d'entre nous une seule chanson ou une seule note à donner. Ça, c'est du Tagore. On a une note ou une chanson. Et après 15 ans, je crois que je suis allé voir le cardinal de Bombay, cardinal Gracias, et dit « Éminence, depuis 15 ans, les étudiants de l'Inde entendent la même note, la même chanson, et temps de changer. » Il n'a pas voulu d'abord, Mais après ça, en poussant, on m'a quand même remplacé. Et après ça, une autre expérience, 15 ans extraordinaires de travail social. À la fois dans les bidonvilles de Madras, nous avons bâti peut-être plus de 500 maisons au nord du port, à la demande de la dame qui était maire de Madras, Madame Thierry. Elle lui a demandé de prendre des gens sur les trottoirs et avec eux bâtir des maisonnettes et donner des terrains au nord du port. Et là, nous avons bâti plus de 500 maisonnettes avec eux. Et en même temps, le travail rural, le développement à Manamadura. Nous avons lancé une ferme et des coopératives, un tas d'histoires. 15 ans de travail social. Et puis après ça, extraordinaire, 15 ans, c'est toujours 15 ans, 15 ans de travail parmi les réfugiés. À ce moment-là, on m'a téléphoné de Delhi, Pierre, es-tu prêt à partir pour le Cambodge et le Vietnam? Et notre réponse est toujours la même, mais bien sûr que je suis prêt. On a besoin de toi pour le Cambodge. Les Khmers ont occupé Phnom Penh de 75 à 79. Et les camps ont craqué en 79, et à ce moment-là qu'il y a eu ce flot extraordinaire de réfugiés qui sont venus du Cambodge pour échapper aux Khmers rouges et échapper à l'armée vietnamienne qui avançait et qui détruisait les Khmers rouges. Mais il y avait eu deux dangers, l'armée vietnamienne qui avançait et les camps qui craquaient, donc on pouvait échapper les camps de la mort. Et alors on m'a demandé de partir pour la Thaïlande, Rana Pratet, la frontière cambodgienne. Et là encore 15 ans. 15 ans extraordinaires. Sans doute la période, peut-être pas la plus utile, mais la plus émouvante de ma vie. 15 ans avec des réfugiés sous les bombardements. En 1994, j'arrive au Rwanda, parce que le dernier camp de réfugiés au Cambodge a fermé. Et en 93-94, 94 je pars pour le Rwanda et le Burundi, qui étaient épouvantables. Et j'arrive à Nairobi, et on regarde mon passeport, et on me dit, tu as 80 ans? C'était en 74, je suis né en 14. Tu ne peux pas aller au Rwanda. Tu ne peux pas porter des cadavres. Tu ne peux pas porter des seaux d'eau. Alors ils m'ont dit, on t'envoie dans un autre camp, on m'a envoyé un camp qui n'avait aucune valeur. C'était dans le... qu'est-ce que c'est ce camp-là? Lusaka, c'était la capitale. C'est la Zambia, la Zambie. J'ai passé quelques mois en Zambie, il y avait tellement de corruption que j'ai demandé de repartir pour l'Inde.
इंसान जात है, common sense है.
Human beings, they have common sense. What is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is bad, what is sin, what is charity. They don't use that common sense.
Spirituality जो common sense है.
Spirituality is in actual fact common
Automatic.
sense.
You know, the business world today is about aggression. Business world is about, we do aggressive marketing. We talk about how we can do better than other people. I found that with my relationship also with the Aga Khan group, which is also interested in social welfare, we also do business for profit, but we also do hospitals and schools which are not for profit. And I found this exciting because you are also helping the community. My relationship with Brahma Kumar is also exciting from that point of view because I'm concerned about the values of our organization and the people that form part of my organization. So I want our organization to be value-based. It means that we don't have to be crooked. Living in Africa, people say that you have to have slush funds. You have to bribe and have your people accept bribes in order to move things faster. And this was something that was always bothering us. In big business, they say that in order to move, you have to do this. More and more and more, we are proving that that is not the case. We can run businesses which are successful without resorting to means which are not value-based. And we have demonstrated this and continue to do it. You can be value-based and you can still be one of the most successful companies in the world. My own companies are successful. The companies which I run on behalf of the Aga Khan are also always in the top 25% in everything that we do, whether they are banks or industrial organizations or hotels. They all run on this value-based. And I find it refreshing that people today are also looking for this. They're looking for this support. When you tell them that it's okay to be good about things. It's okay to be good to people. You don't have to kick them to make them work. It's the opposite. If you're nice to people, if you value what they are doing, you will get much more value out of them than if you are constantly thumping tables.
Goodness is absolute freedom, because I have noticed that when I become negative or bad, there is definitely a lock in here. And I feel goodness being our true nature. The minute I feel I'm good, whatever that definition may be, I feel free. I truly feel free. And loving becomes my nature. And that is good. When I go and help somebody else, I feel free. I feel great. And that is goodness to me. Anything that does not lock me is goodness.
Vous connaissez le monde des étudiants, le monde des travailleurs, le monde des paysans, le monde des réfugiés, le monde des pauvres, le monde des intellectuels. Mais vous ne connaissez pas le monde des enfants.
Il y a deux raisons, je pense, pourquoi j'ai dit oui avec beaucoup de joie à cette invitation. Première raison un peu générale, j'aime toujours découvrir, je suis un amoureux du monde, et j'aime découvrir toutes les belles choses dans le monde. On a dit que j'étais un peu un pèlerin des frontières. J'aime dépasser les frontières, faire des découvertes nouvelles. Et donc, le Brahma Kumari, c'est un monde que je ne connaissais pas du tout. Et je passe mon temps à découvrir des mondes que je ne connaissais pas du tout. Je veux dire notre monde, les Brahma Kumari, cette recherche qui se fait extraordinairement à vous. Première raison, générale, découvrir la beauté des gens. Et deuxièmement, plus précisément, et ça m'a été donné par mon ami le Père Pécou, dans le monde qui se construit, la globalisation, il me paraît très très important de tâcher de réunir, qu'on se réunisse avec toutes les forces qui représentent quelque chose de spirituel et de recherche de l'absolu. Un monde qui se réunit. En fait, c'est vous devrez la reposer ça, qui est une spiritualisation même du travail politique, que les forces politiques deviennent plus spirituelles.
It's more light if possible. For Eric, if it's possible, then even more light.
I'm very glad to meet you. Very glad to meet you. God bless you. You're wonderful. Very happy to meet you.
I was very happy.
Yeah, wonderful. God bless. We are more or less the same generation, the same age.
हम
मुझे भी बड़ी खुशी हो रही है.
हम दोनों एक ही generation के हैं.
I'm 92.
92 परंतु जनरेशन से भी एज के हिसाब से नहीं, परंतु अंदर की भावना के हिसाब से सेम है.
We are not just the same because of the age generation, but also our feelings and our motives of the heart are the same.
इसी जनरेशन में तो बहुत होंगे, परंतु भावना अंदर की श्रेष्ठ होवे ना, भगवान को ऐसे बच्चे चाहिए.
There might be many others of our generation, but with different feelings and motives. But God wants those who have these feelings and motives to come together.
तो अभी यहाँ करके बाबा के जीवन से हम क्या सीखी है, अच्छी तरह से मैंने प्रैक्टिकल बताएंगे आपको.
And yes, I would also like to share the practical things I learned from Brahma Baba in terms of what I need to do in my life.
तो आज मैंने बोला था, वास्तव में जो बात समझ में आ जाती है ना, पढ़ने लिखे, कल शाम को बोला था, पढ़ने लिखने के लिए नहीं होती है, अंदर को दिल को लग जाती है, करने लग पड़ते हैं. अच्छा.
When we understand something, then it's not even a question of writing it down or reading it, but it touches the heart, and so then we begin to practice it in our life.
आज के ज़माने में मनुष्य को बुरा बनना बड़ा आसान हो गया है. ऐसे बन जाती है सदा के लिए.
In today's world, there's many negative influences that take us in the wrong direction.
अभी समय आया है अच्छा इंसान जल्दी बनने का.
But now the time has come to become a good person.
I thought you were just a little center for meditation. And when I came down there at the railway station, I saw and here I said, I'm amazed. And I have some time to, I need some time to absorb all that.
बीज स्वरूप है.
God is the seed.
सारा ये झाड़ है वैरायटी.
The whole tree is a variety tree, but God is the creator, the seed.
हे आत्मा, तुम भी ऐसी हो.
And so he reminds us, hey soul, this is who you are.
कर्म बंधन में फंस गई हो.
He says, hey soul, you become trapped in bondage.
आत्मा अपने सच्चाई को छोड़ दिया है.
Because of the influence of negativity, the vices, the soul has forgotten its truth.
और परमात्मा को भूल गई है.
And the soul has forgotten God. The connection has broken.
इसलिए संसार में दुखी है.
And that's the cause of sorrow in the world.
तो मैं एक बात सुनाती हूँ. सिर्फ गरीब तो इतने दुखी नहीं है जितने शाहूकार दुखी है.
The poor are unhappy, but in fact the rich are also unhappy.
Corruption, competition, criticism से दुनिया चल रही है.
The world is based on corruption, competition and criticism today.
ऐसी दुनिया को सुधारने के लिए जहाँ धर्म में भी पाप है तो राज्य में भी पाप है.
And it's God who can transform the world. Because both in politics as well as religion, there's a lot of sin today. And there's fighting and quarreling everywhere.
ऐसे कनेक्शंस हैं जैसे कि जीवन ऐसी सफा दिखाई पड़ती है.
The connection with God makes us clean. So I can see everything clearly. I can see what is the difference between human life and an angel life.
I started off with the meditation because I was having a lot of peacelessness in my home, in my office, and even with my friends. So when I started the meditation, I found that using the knowledge that was given and experimenting it in my mind, I found that it was able to slow down my thoughts and bring my mind to a stable place where I could think properly. And this helped me So I found that I started practicing this more and more. There was a deeper understanding of the knowledge of the self, that is, understanding that I am the spirit within and not just this body. This body is my chariot. And also that there is God, who is the Supreme Father, and He is the Supreme Father of all of us.
I started with Father Serac when I was 13 years old, and from that time I worked with Father Serac, and now I am in the farm called Serac Farm. So the farm is about 75 hectares. The farm goes on well, and we have got different activities in the farm called the polio center and the high school and the rural development, microcredit, and cooperative organization like milk producer cooperative society, sheep breeders cooperative society, various things which is consist of about 145 villages, more than 500,000 people we cover, and it is going on well. And now today we are transplanting the paddy. That is, paddy means it's a kind of is the life of the people of the rural. It is rice. Father Serac is not only a human being. I myself, I feel that he is a moving God, because he moves. Because we have never seen God. I think the God cannot be seen, but with his philosophy, the love and affection is God, and he loves everybody. He loves the leprosy people. He touches the people, and he gives more value for the people rather than give value for power and money.
The power to discern, the power to be able to actually see clearly. We look through many different filters, many different lenses. To what extent am I actually seeing reality? Don't know. And so the connection and the cleansing that happens, and as a result of the cleansing, I'm separating my desires, my attachments from what is it that's happening. While I'm influenced by my desires and attachments, I can't even see. But I separate those things, and then I can see. Then I can evaluate. I can discern right and wrong, good and bad, whatever it is.
About 23 years ago, I joined the Brahma Kumaris institution. I came to the center in Frankfurt in those days, and then 1985, I came first time to India. And I was astonished by the sun and the possibilities to make use of solar energy, but actually not much happened in the country. Then I came every year regular, and after some time had the idea, why not doing something with solar energy in India? And luckily we got some help from the German government and also some technology from Germany and from Switzerland. And we started setting up those nice solar cooking system which you can see on the background. This system, for example, was sponsored by the German government, and it's running almost 10 years without any problem. And you can see two dishes, a lower dish and a higher dish. And we are concentrating the sunlight on the receiver. And in the receiver, we generate low pressure steam. This steam we send into the kitchen, and voila, we have the steam and we can cook. So it saves us a lot of kerosene. And the consumption has gone down by 90% over the whole year, which is a very big achievement if you consider nowadays prices you pay for petrol and so on. And we have replicated that system at many other places. At the moment, we are running 5 or 6 of these big systems all over India in various of our ashrams. And we're cooking approximately 30,000–40,000 meals per day based on these solar steam cooking systems. This technology is basically a cheap technology. It is produced locally here in India, and everybody who has a welding machine and who is capable, he can actually replicate and build this solar steam cooking system. We have no copyrights on it, and we are very happy you come and you copy it.
Il y a 2 jours, on a vu un groupe de lépreux. Il y a comme ça il y a des îlots d'immense pauvreté, de pauvreté qui se cache, d'isolation. Ces pauvres, ils étaient une quinzaine ou une vingtaine, et perdus dans le bled, perdus loin, loin, loin. Et je tâche de voir ce petit groupe de lépreux 1 fois par mois. Et leur porter à chacun, comme vous avez vu, la petite chose qui leur fait tellement plaisir, un petit billet de 50 roupies. 50 roupies fait 1 euro. Et pour ne pas les humilier, je leur dis, c'est pour vos cigarettes, pour vos bidis. On peut toujours dire à un ami, ça c'est pour tes cigarettes. Si vous leur dites pour votre nourriture, ça les humilie. Et vous avez vu, un lépreux, on ne donne jamais 10 roupies ou 50 roupies à un lépreux sans le toucher. Et on met son bras sur ses épaules et on lui dit, comment ça va mon pauvre vieux? Il faut beaucoup de tendresse.
The habit of reflecting and going into silence is something that's been practiced for centuries by every faith. And now, of course, even medical science is telling us that to stop and reflect and be calm inside is going to help us in our mental health and in our physical health too. And in life today, we don't have enough silence. Even if we're alone, very often in the Western world anyway, people will have some noise going on in their head. They'll have their Walkman on or they'll be listening to something. People are very rarely alone with their own thoughts. And yet, if we do start to practice silence, then we find that stress levels are reduced, there's a lot more clarity of mind, there's a lot more happiness within the self, and we're able to interact in a much more pleasant way with people because we're more thoughtful. We're not just reacting, we actually are considering, and then we're responding to situations. And so we started the project to really help people on a wide level, really the general public, have some of these tools for silence. So the project we started is called Just a Minute, because if you say to people, well, take 10 minutes for silence in the morning, or at 12 o'clock in the day, or 20 minutes, they'll say, oh, I haven't got the time. But if you say to people, take 1 minute, they'll say, well, okay, maybe I can do that. And it's incredible what can be achieved in a minute. In a minute, you can take the most significant decision of your life.
Om Shanti. I love you, all of you, and I would say that my experience here has been an experience of love. It is a place of love here. I spent 3-4 days discovering marvelous things every day. And I'm grateful to you for that experience for me. I will speak about love because I think we are created by the Almighty for love, to love Him and to love one another. That's what we are here for nothing else. To love, and every day to love more. When I returned from Cambodian refugee camps, after 14 years, Cambodia and Vietnam, I was 80, and my superior in India asked me, what can you do at 80? And I said, Father, I can love. I can love. And I think that's a great joy for our lives. We can love every day more. And by loving more people around us, we love Him more, the Supreme, because we are created by the Supreme God who is love, to love Him. We are meant for Him. We are capacity of love of God. We are meant to love Him. And seeing the beauty of God, we love Him immensely every day more. Because the more we see the beauty, the more we love. And the more we love, the more we see the beauty. Je crois qu'en fait, ce qui est le plus important, c'est le présent et l'avenir. On a beaucoup parlé du passé, le passé est fini. C'est dans les mains du Seigneur et c'est son affaire. Donc, je crois qu'il est bon que nous parlions ensemble de ce que je fais ces temps-ci, ou plutôt ce tâche de faire, dans différents secteurs qui sont très très nombreux. Quelques-uns de ces secteurs sont sur ma table, je vais m'en occuper ce matin. Tu peux voir sur ma table un secteur important qui me passionne, c'est le secteur des opérations des enfants à cœur ouvert. Et voici, il y a 10 opérations à cœur ouvert d'enfants qui avaient des trous dans le cœur ou bien des valves à remplacer. Et avec la petite aide qu'on leur a donnée, on a pu aider 10 enfants, ils sont là, des enfants de 3 ans, 4 ans, à être opérés à cœur ouvert dans le grand hôpital de Madras, l'hôpital du gouvernement, qui est un très bon hôpital. Donc, en moyenne, ça fait à peu près 10 enfants par mois. C'est le 9e mois, ceci. Et on vient de nous porter les résultats, et tous les enfants galopent maintenant. Le deuxième travail qui est très important pour moi, ce sont les lettres des pauvres. Là, il y a 60 lettres, là, reçues en 3 jours. Vous voyez les lettres. Je viens de les compter, ils sont 59, 60. Alors, un des gros travaux que je dois faire, et c'est pour ça que je vais demander à un ami en France de m'envoyer un très bon couteau qu'on appelle un couteau merveilleux, qui s'appelle un laguiole. Alors, avec le laguiole, vous n'avez aucun problème. Mais sans ça, avec des couteaux ordinaires, ils mettent tellement de colle que je ne peux pas arriver à ouvrir les lettres. Mais ce sont des lettres admirables que je conserve. J'en ai des milliers maintenant que je mets dans une malle. Parce que les amis français qui sont venus ont été tellement bouleversés par certaines de ces lettres. Par une lettre que je viens de recevoir d'une pauvre femme de 84 ans qui s'est cassé le poignet en tombant. Et puis après ça, elle s'est cassé la hanche en tombant une deuxième fois le même jour. Elle a demandé qu'on la prenne à l'hôpital du gouvernement, Stanley Hospital. Et lorsque c'est arrivé à l'hôpital, on a dit « Vous êtes trop âgé et vous avez 2 grandes blessures. On ne peut pas vous guérir, on ne peut pas vous soigner. Rentrez chez vous. » On lui dit ça avec beaucoup de gentillesse, mais on comprend, ils ont tellement de demandes. Une femme de 84 ans. Et donc elle est rentrée dans sa hutte et elle vient de me le dire. Je suis chez moi maintenant et personne ne peut me soigner et je ne veux pas bouger. Alors qu'est-ce que je fais? Un money order, c'est-à-dire une chose, un mandat postal. Parce que cette pauvre femme ne peut pas se déplacer. Elle est dans une hutte épouvantable où il pleut la nuit. Et je lui envoie un mandat postal. Et là, tous les mandats postaux que j'ai envoyés durant la dernière semaine, ils sont là. Voilà des mandats postaux. Alors, je vais envoyer à cette brave dame ce qu'il lui faut pour le mois. Le minimum qu'il lui faut, c'est 500 roupies par mois pour vivre. 500 roupies, ça fait 10 €. Ça n'a l'air de rien, mais ça permet à beaucoup de personnes admirables, les grands pauvres de l'Inde, à vivre dans la dignité. Ils n'ont pas à venir me voir. D'ailleurs, ils ne pourraient pas venir me voir s'ils ont une jambe cassée ou bien une hanche cassée. Et personne ne sait que vous leur avez envoyé 500 roupies. Ça part par la poste et le postier va lui porter 500 roupies demain. et 500 roupies, elle va acheter la nourriture pour le mois.
We're running a program called the Village Outreach Program, which started about 15 years ago. The aim and objective of this program was to provide free, comprehensive health care at the doorstep of the poor village people. In the schools, where we are providing free milk and snacks every day. Just with this basic once-a-day program, the health of many children have improved. The attendance in the schools have gone up. They're performing better at studies as well as in sports. This program represents the social dimension of spirituality. One is that we have found and understood ourselves, and the other is, having understood ourselves, how then are we useful to the society?
I equate goodness with love, with selflessness, with truth, with giving. If within this area of spirituality there are some notions of truth, of universal applicability, then they must have a relevance and a utility within any kind of life. So within a professional life, within a business life, within a commercial, financial, whatever it happens to be life, there must be elements of spirituality which can be used to make that life a better life, one which serves people better.
Je crois que la grande tragédie des siècles qui ont passé, c'est que la religion a divisé l'humanité. We have developed the training center, and we have got an average of 55 to 60 young ladies from the poor villages around, to whom we give, I think, a very balanced training, so that they may obtain a work later on in Chennai or in Pondicherry.
Actually, we are giving training, diploma training. We are taking English classes and also computer courses. And in the computer course, we are giving training for the students in office tools such as MS Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Access, Internet. And also we are giving software training such as C, C++, Visual Basic, Java. We have tailoring class. We have one staff for that tailoring course. And also I am teaching yoga.
Very good.
I am teaching English, spoken English classes.
You are teaching parents. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
My name is Divya. I am 17 years old. We learn not only in computer science, we learn how to behave with others and how to communicate with others and good habits.
Father Sarak, God's gift. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
But what is wonderful, last year they were 52, no?
Yes, Father.
And all have passed.
All of them are passed.
the government exam, all of them. No one failed.
All of them.
Fantastic. Now we have to help them to get jobs in Madras.
Yes.
I would feel that the focus of the medical profession now needs to shift from the curative approach to more promotive approach, more preventive approach. I know that we are spending so much on curing diseases, but if we spend even half of that on preventing diseases and promotion of healthcare, we can do wonders. The focus has to shift from just building high-tech hospitals and bringing in more technology. We need to give simple inputs for living peacefully, living a simple life, and emphasizing on our conduct emphasizing on building a society which is based on morals and ethical principles.
So I see a very bright future, but I also see that there is a transformation process that's in between. But if we can see that transformation process as part of the shift and find the benefit in all of it, in whatever we have to face personally and whatever the world is facing, we can use that to actually transform ourselves and transform what is around us and create a future that we choose, because the mind is actually all-powerful and we can create the future that we choose when we choose it consciously rather than unconsciously. And I think that's the key, to awaken to the power that we have inside of us as human beings, individually and collectively.
Des grands déficits ou c'est une erreur peut-être de ce que nous avons fait à travers les années. On ne s'est pas suffisamment occupé des riches et tourné vers les riches pour les aider à entrer dans le monde des pauvres. Vous savez, c'est grâce aux pauvres que nous sommes sauvés en fait, c'est tout l'évangile. Et je crois qu'il faut aider les riches à entrer dans ce monde-là et le comprendre. Et les aider à cette chose toute simple dont on parle tout le temps, les aider à partager. Et la grande erreur, le grand déficit de mon action à moi, je ne me suis pas assez tourné vers les rives de l'Inde pour leur demander de travailler avec moi, de partager mon travail. Et ça, je crois que c'est la plus grande erreur que j'ai faite. Je me suis trop tourné vers la France pour demander de l'aide, et j'aurais dû demander à mes amis indiens, qui sont aussi riches que les Français, de partager mon travail. Et je crois que maintenant, dans les quelques années qui me restent, si le Seigneur me donne encore quelques années, je vais tâcher de contacter davantage les amis riches que je connais pour qu'ils partagent avec moi la joie de donner, l'immense joie de donner et la joie d'aimer. C'est la même chose. Parce qu'on donne toujours par amour. S'il n'y a pas d'amour, il ne faut pas donner. Il faut donner par amour. Et je crois qu'il faut aider nos amis à aimer et à donner par amour et à partager. Et si on ne partage pas, comme l'avoir dit, j'ai eu l'occasion de parler à l'UNESCO à Paris l'année dernière, si on ne partage pas, si dans l'humanité entière, on ne partage pas, il n'y aura pas de troisième millénaire. Ça va craquer, comme ça a craqué à New York, et ça a craqué il y a 3-4 ans, ça a craqué à Madrid, ça risque de craquer partout. Et après 2-3 siècles, tout pourrait exploser. Parce que les gens ne peuvent pas tolérer l'injustice incroyable du monde d'aujourd'hui. Et c'est beaucoup plus difficile d'être debout contre l'injustice que de donner à manger à des pauvres.
Time, in terms of the whole cycle, is now. And now is that junction point, the old and the new. And we're the ones who are the creators of the new. And the end of the old and the beginning of the new has to happen in me. Then I'll see it happen in the world around me.
तो शास्त्रों में गायन है कोई भगवान के फ्रेंड से.
In the scriptures it's been remembered that there were some who were friends with God.
फ्रेंड समान बनता है.
A friend becomes an equal. How do you see the future of the world?
I'm very optimistic because I think that I always think that love is more powerful than hatred. Love is more powerful than death.
Definitely.
And God is love, and ultimately, the work of God, the creation of God, the marvel must triumph. Truth must prevail. Right. The beautiful motto of India, Satyam Eva Jayate.
Beautiful.
Truth has got to win one day.
Yes. The power to cooperate, a very different paradigm from conflict and competition. And in cooperation, ego has to die. While ego lives, cooperation is not possible. When I've killed the ego and I've come to the awareness of spirituality, my own spiritual identity, then recognizing the specialities of each one and recognizing the value of cooperation, I'm able to merge my own stuff, whatever it may be, and come together with others and be able to cooperate. I think that if we're to make the world a better place, if we're discontent with the way things are and we want to make a change for the better, then it's only going to be through the power of cooperation. It's not possible otherwise.
Nanangir kainde de mana madura peri pambu ile nala pambu ile ki nala pambu sana ka cobra nala pambu apari
Cobra.
ana cobra sorange nala pambu cobra adikimata ade cobra nala pambu ana ile Sunday potaka a cobra diku. Onum se llama undaka cobra onum se llama. Il nala pambu. Nala pambu. Il n'y en a que plus rien. Cobra, il n'y en a que plus rien. Il y en a cobra nala pambu. Baya pas de venda. Ninguém baya pas de venda. Ninguém e polun san do chamage. Nan bike yage.